Salutations, Sentients. Today is the day I begin the terraces. I was pretty tired of looking out the window and realizing how blank the front yard was. No trees, just kind of grassy patches everywhere. And, you know, my goal is ultimately sustainability, a sustainable lifestyle. Something that's going to promote holistic healing for my mind, my body, and my soul. So what better way than to put my emotions in action, my energy in motion, and deal with these anxious emotions I've been experiencing lately and use them to nourish and pretty much cultivate the land that will eventually nurture me in return. So I have just decided to grab some logs, give myself a visual outlay of where I would like to start each terrace for the most part. I'm sure it'll change 50 times before I do it, as usual. But either way, a visual is nice. So if you're doing terraces, that would help to definitely outlay and give yourself some sort of blueprint of what's going on. Because I realize with me in particularly, I will go from one thing to another and my focus is all over the place, so I feel as if I get nothing done. So that may be something to be mindful of if you too find yourself in that trap. But I decided to just lay the logs out and get started on what at first was going to be the bottom terrace. Just using a basic pickaxe and the hoe. The pickaxe is definitely necessary for this soil. It may vary for your soil, but here we have very rocky, compact clay soil. Now the top layer is pretty nice. I found some earthworms, which I later collected and preserved to go into the composting area where we have some gourmet food scraps for them to dine on. But you may find that you need less tools, and good for you if so. It's a hell of a struggle to kind of get into this soil, though. But nothing that, you know, a challenge is healthy. It's definitely something that I'm working on managing and not letting it stress me out. So what better way than to do, you know, a very seemingly simple practice and, you know, kind of expounding upon that so it does influence and nurture my mind, my body, and my soul. And also practicing gratitude for these earthworms, the workers of the soil that are helping me enrich it with nutrients. So I am very grateful for that. Like I said, they're going into the compost pile to munch on food scraps, you know, and reproduce. So I can, you know, have some more helpers. That would be greatly appreciated. So, again, just using some basic tools, and I cut about 6 inches into the soil and just dragged it back with the hoe. So I was working on, again, creating that mound for the first stair step in the staircase on the land. And, you know, wheelbarrow is always helpful if you're needing to move the soil around or you're just going to build up on top instead of cut straight into. I do not have many resources available as far as money can buy, so I'm working on sustainable design, something that I can pretty much use with what I have. So I'm going to work with what I can and make the best of it. So, and that ultimately will nurture my sustainability goals and the, you know, sustainable lifestyle I ultimately am looking forward to, you know, living. And this too is holistic nourishment. You know, it's meditative. As I'm doing this, I'm, you know, when I pick at my skin, I tend to find I'm in a meditative mindset. Not positively, but this one is turning to be a much more positive version of that. And for that, I am very grateful. Making a little progress on the first terrace in the front yard. The soil's rocky to say the least, clay, pretty compact, heavy soil. I have been picking out the earthworms so I can put them in a composting area where I have all my food scraps. But yeah, it's been like a wax on, wax off kind of experience. So here's the look at the beginnings of the first terrace from the road. So I didn't cut too deep, maybe 6 inches or so, and then started pulling the dirt this way as I was cutting into it. I still need to, you know, level these out a little bit more, but I am thinking of doing a slight berm so when the water runs down, it retains at least some of the water in these crevices, kind of like a swale, since it is a fairly dry climate here. When it rains, but you know, if it rains, you know, keep the water kind of deal. So let me step back for a better look. You can see this is where the edge of the terrace, I'm going to bring it out to here. But so I have just been using some hand tools for this. The hoe has been very useful in scraping out the stuff that I loosen up with the pickaxe or one of the digging bars. This is my preferred all-around tool. I like the geological pick for how, I guess, compact the soil is here. I guess it's S-wing. But yeah, Home Depot or Lowe's tool, one of them. And then just a basic shovel to scoop as needed. These help me loosen up the soil. So when I first start digging, if it's really heavy, these bars have some weight to them, so they're a bit better than using the pickaxe. But yeah, pretty much everywhere I have placed those logs, I'm going to do some sort of, you know, terracing to cut into the land and kind of level it out a little bit. Hopefully, you know, it'll erode less. You know, get some texture into the ground, some different plant. You know, plant and animal life would be nice. But all in all, it is a good workout. I am finding that I will be too exhausted to pick at my face, most likely. So that is a relief. And getting that energy out feels fucking awesome. So, peace.